sometimes I may feel like I'm in the back burner,
Right.
but it's not really that. It's we're evolving as humans, which is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So yeah, you're marrying the unknown, and you know, again, like, how do men deal with that? How do women deal with that? So it's never a thing where it's just a one script, one blueprint. You're continuously trying to figure things out, communication, and I want to have real conversations about how people deal with these things. Yeah, we back in the building inside the Mind Ep4. I'm your host, John Reese. We got another one, men's physique, allure, elite, the top of the food chain is what I like to call him. Man, let's talk about my guy here. Started competing in 2017, turned pro in 2018 at the USA's. I love that show because that's where I turned pro at. He has 5 pro wins. Most recent, the Vancouver Pro and the Republic of Texas Championships. Those is back to back, by the way. And this will be his 4th Olympia this year. My guy, Jason Huynh.
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me.
How you doing, dog? How you doing?
Good, man. Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be having these conversations with you, and you know, a lot of our brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, in the bodybuilding community, to talk about a lot of the things that, you know, fans sometimes don't care to hear about, but these are the things we go through on a day in and day out basis. So yeah, I'm blessed to be here. But first and foremost, man, happy belated birthday, brother.
Thank you, bro. I hit the Masters, man. I'm feeling it this morning.
Hey. Side note, if y'all follow Jason, man, Jason's funny. Like there was a clip, I've literally seen it this morning. So he celebrated his birthday yesterday. And anyone knows, if you party, like, you shotgun beers, whatever. Like, I've never done it, but he shotgunned a water bottle. It was hilarious, bro.
Still want to be in the fun, but you know, I'm doing it my way.
Absolutely, that's dedication and balance for sure, man. So first things first, man. Mentally, you're coming off 2 wins. You're going into, you know, another Olympia. How's your mental space these days?
Well, lately it's been great, man, you know, because all the food I've been able to eat.
Hey.
But besides that, the competition-wise, though, man, I'm really excited. I'm grateful for this little break mentally. It was a tough run from Denver to Texas, and that was a rough one. Like, honestly, that was probably one of the toughest prep I had gone through. But now it's just a little mental break and physical break for my body. It's great, you know. So I'm blessed to have that little short break, and also for my family, man. They've been on a run with me as well. That's the thing I feel like we forget sometimes. It's a selfish sport, man. When we're in it, we're in it. Like, our mindset is just one goal. Like, you know, we got to go get this win, give it our best, and we forget the people around us. You know, they're also kind of prepping with us as well. So it's a nice little break I got, man.
Absolutely. Even in Denver, you were, to me, in my eyes, like, you were lights out. But then you had to make some changes, you know, because of the vision and the trajectory as far as where the division is going. You know, if anyone doesn't know, they're getting ready to implement these new weight caps. So it's causing a lot of athletes to kind of rethink a few things. But when you came to the Vancouver Pro, was almost like a new physique. So you mentioned how you know, it was tough. Like, what made it so tough? Like, what was going on?
So from Denver, I mean, first of all, like, when we came to that show, I mean, I always try to come at my best. You know, I do whatever it takes to. You know, I don't want to come to a show not being at my best. And at Denver, I thought we came at my best. You know, at that point, we're like, oh, the weight cap is next year. You know, we'll keep it the same as the last show. We just beat our conditioning, more roundness this time, more details, and then Denver hit me pretty hard, man. When I first came out, I didn't even get into the first call out. Like, I was standing there, like, shoot. I see that they called the top 6 or 8, I forget, but they're all like out there battling. I was like, I'm always here, like, shoot. It's like, I didn't know it was that bad. And
Wow.
then for a second, I was like, mentally, I was like, oh, shoot, man, what did I do wrong this time, And I was pretty discouraged on stage, It was like, um, I mean, you're doing it so many times, but it's just when you're not in the top or the first call out battling it, you kind of like, damn, it sucks. So just recovering from that after the show, I mean, I got my feedback, and it was like, I mean, at finals they called me out, and then I got fifth. So I was like, oh shoot, I got in the fifth. But still, that first part and being fifth too, you don't compete to be fifth. You
Right,
always
right.
want to be first. So
Hmm.
mentally, I was pretty discouraged. It's like, man, it's like, is this my max? This is this is all I can go. you know, it's like been competing for a couple of years now, and it's like, man, this is our best so far. But luckily, I had my coach and just talk to me, and they're like, where can we go from here? And just having that mentor just being next to you, and he's been in the
Mm.
industry for so long, and then he reassured me like, no, this is not our best so far. We still got a long way to go. We can improve. Okay, like I think it's the weight cap thing. So let's do something different this time. And then so like, okay, what do we need to do? And he's like, looking back at my Phoenix show that I did in like 2 years ago, um,
Mm. Yeah, you
where I
killed that
won.
one too, by the way.
Yeah, and he always loved that look. He's like, I think that's still your
Uh-huh.
best look to date. And then I look back at my notes, because for every show, I write everything down and all the pictures. So I put my notes on my phone, like this show, what was the protocol, my weight, the pictures I sent him, and I look back. I was like, oh, I think we're like 176, like during peak week or something like that, or a week out from Phoenix, and I was 187.6 at Denver. I was like, damn, we grew.
Mm.
So he's like, why don't we try to bring it back down? So we're like, okay, let's go. I think I can do it, coach. And he's like, I think that was like 3.5 weeks from Denver,
Sheesh.
or 3 or 3.5. I can't count the dates right now.
It was close. I know that they were close together. I do
Yeah,
remember
they weren't
that.
too far, and I was sitting there. I was like, like sometimes your coach tell you, and you're like, yeah, you hype, you're like, yeah, let's go, coach. And we're like, I think I can do it. But in my head, there's part in my head, it's like, shit, can we really do this?
Right.
but but yeah, Ryan proved to me again is like every time I question a little bit in my head or something, like if we can really pull this shit together, like he always showed me wrong. Like I can pull it together. It's pretty crazy. But that's what we did, man. Mentally, we just after talking to him and having a game plan to go into Texas.
Hmm.
Actually, at first we didn't even plan to do Texas. We are like, let's just hit Vancouver, which is like gave me like 4 weeks instead of three or something like that, like an
Right.
extra week. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay, let's go. And then so we were on plan to go do Vancouver, and I think it was like 2 weeks in. I messaged him. I was like, Coach, what about Texas? I feel like I'm wasting the conditioning I'm carrying right now. Might as well just hit a show. If anything, it's only going to get me tighter. I mean, we're going to suffer and have to peak again, but
Hmm.
what if? You never know. I was like, if anything, it's just going to help me get tighter. And I was mentally ready to go because once you get fifth, man, you just more fire up. That's the thing, man. Like, sorry going back, but
No, no, you're
after
good.
the
You're good.
feedback that the judges told me, like they missed me. They almost missed me at prejudging day. He didn't see me. I was like, what? 187-pound guys are here. You missed me. But
That's crazy.
yeah, and they're like, lucky
Mm.
we found you again at finals. And he was like, yeah, everything is great, just more conditioned because all these top four, they're more conditioned than you. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, all right, great feedback. Because conditioning we can control, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
though that's a easy. I mean, not a. I don't. Sorry, it's not an
yeah,
easy fix, but it's a fix, like you said, we can't control. I mean,
yeah. It's definitely not easy, but in comparison to like a structural feedback or something that takes
hmm,
longer, then yeah, I'll take conditioning any day. You know,
absolutely.
yeah, I was mad, but I was like, you know what? I was more mad at myself for coming to that show and give them a hole to pick on. That's my mindset. It's like there's no point of arguing with the judges. Like, oh no, no, this guy's I'm more conditioned. Look at the pictures. It's a waste of time, man. If you're gonna spend time arguing back with judge, spend that time at the gym. Get better. It's like they're not
Man,
gonna change the
look,
result. You just gotta make yourself look stupid. You
that's
know?
crazy, man. Talk
Yeah. So I
about
was like.
talk about
something
that a
goes
little
wrong.
bit
Yeah,
as far as like, the judges, like, we're up there to be told what's wrong with us or what we have to fix. And, how does that play, in your mind sometimes, like when you go into prep? Is it something you could just brush off? Or, does it bother you? Like how do you transition into the next step or the next goal for you when you're being subjectively told like things you need to do better at?
I think with me, it's I take everything in. It's like I know different judges, different panel. You can't really go based on one judge's feedback
Mhm.
because you go all in on this judge's feedback. Like I'm going to work on arms 5 times a week. Get your arm, and then to the next one, the other judge is like, I don't like your arm. I think they're too big. It's like, what are you going to change? You can't please
Exactly.
everybody. But I
Mhm.
take all their feedback and also look at myself in the mirror and just have a realistic look. It's like, okay, compare look at your picture. Like you can see your arms are too big. Okay, maybe they have a point there. Maybe they're not extremely big, but hey, there's something that gave them that look where they're like, hey, why is this guy's arm bigger than the other guy that they like, or something like that. But just take
Mhm.
it with a grain of salt, I guess. But then also improve from it. Like, look at yourself. See, okay, maybe they're a little right. I need a little more upper chest. My lower lats can use a little more density, uh, and then just improve upon it. And say we're at the gym anyways. Just might as well. Okay, I'll use this as fuel to work on an extra set on my back or something.
All right, I got you. So you meant your coach is Mr. Ryan Benson, Team Zero Gravity, one of
The
the
goat.
the prestigious dominant teams in our league. That's male and female, by the way. Let's go ahead and put that out there. But talk to me about how you actually got on that team in your start in bodybuilding.
Oh man, not a long story.
That's all right, man. We got
Well,
all night. Mm,
so in 2017, I mean, I always worked out all my life, and in 2017, I went through a little rough time of my
mhm,
life, personally, and I started doing things that I noticed that I'm not usually doing, like wasting my time, like the younger stuff, like drinking on the weekend and stuff like that. And I don't really like to drink, but at that time, I was like, I'm wasting my time. I need to find something with a routine, and I always loved working out. And I always been a skinny kid, That's how I got into bodybuilding or lifting at all. I
mhm.
mean, I was wrestling at 119 when I was in high school as a sophomore. And at that time, I like to play sport, but when you're small and you're little, you get pushed around, you get bullied on the court and stuff.
119 wrestling, huh? Yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
So, you get to wrestle girls sometimes, and that's not a good feeling for yourself personally. It's like, I'm so
Nah,
small, there's no guy in my weight class.
that's crazy. That's interesting though.
Yeah.
Mm,
But yeah, man, I had like back then, my goal was to lift one plate on the bench, on the flat bench. That was my goal back then. And just put on more weight. And then that's how I got to lifting. And then I did it for, I guess, like 15, 14 years by 2017. And
mhm.
then at that time, I was like, yeah, I need a routine. So I looked up, you know, on IG, wanted to get into bodybuilding. But the thing is, I'm always like super shy. It's like, can't even think about taking my shirt off and let alone go on the stage and being judged by like a panel of judges with
Hey,
everybody
uh,
looking at you. I was like,
that's
oh,
a
hell
crazy
no.
contrast, man.
Yeah. But I was
Mm,
like, at that time, I was like, I got to do something different. I got to break out of my shell, just do this thing. So I don't question it later on when I'm older in life, like, oh, what if I could have done and do a show, never been on stage. So I was like, let's do
mhm,
this one show, just for the experience and see how it goes. And then I was looking up teams and stuff like that. And then it's funny because one of my friend, he actually sent me a story or an Team Zero Gravity's profile. And at
mhm.
that time, I think he saw Jake, the Shredder. He's like,
Hey,
"Well,
he hit
bro,
the
you look like
stage.
this
He
guy."
just hit the stage yesterday too, I think. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yesterday. Yeah,
Mhm.
man, he's one of my idols. At that, and then yeah, I was like, "What?" He's like, "You look like this guy." I was like, "Hell no, I don't look like that guy. He's the Shredder."
That's crazy.
Maybe with like one part of my face, but nothing else.
Yeah,
But
he
then
gets
that's how
built, man.
I found out about zero gravity. Yeah, that's. And then I started doing more research, and I was like, dang, this guy's like producing pros, and all these guys. Like I saw Joseph Lee, I saw Jeremy Potter, I was
Mhm.
like Garrett. I was like, dude, these guys are crazy looking. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna go into this, let's go for the best, you know. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, coach, been thinking about doing a first show ever. Uh, what do you think? You know, he's like, come in for a workout. And I was like, okay. And then it was a Monday morning. So I drove there. They're in his old gym in Pomona. And I drove there. I got there a little early, parked in the garage. Everything was fine. And then I started seeing all these big, big ass bodybuilders start walking out.
Yeah, it got
And then I
real
remember
quick.
I was like, dang, these guys are like
Man.
twice my size. And then
Mhm.
parked next to me was Jeremy Potvin at that time. And then he walked out. He had his tank top on. And then it was chest day. I was looking at his chest. I was like, and you know how big of a chest he got.
Bruh. I ain't
And I
seen
was saying,
Jeremy
like,
in person yet, but yeah, Instagram makes it
bro,
look
that thing is
30
like
times
hanging.
bigger. That's crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. So I sat in my car.
Mhm.
I looked at him. He walked out. I was like, shit, maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe I should just turn around and leave.
That's
These guys are
crazy.
way too big. I was like, I got scared, legit. So I almost turned back. Yeah, Jeremy Potvin almost made me not join the team.
Wow. We'll talk
But
about
I was
that.
like,
Mhm.
but yeah, man. I was like, you know what? I'm here. Might as well. F it. I got nothing else to lose right now. So I went in, like, that worked out. Got destroyed, of course. Um, and then I talked to Ryan afterward, and we just hit it on from there, man. It's just I've been with the team ever since.
That's
It's a
dope,
great
man.
environment, man. He's a great person, honestly. Besides the coach, he's like a mentor, as a good friend of mine. So we just hit it on from that day.
That's dope, man. That's telling because so many stories go a different way. And to know that you almost turned around just out of, fear or however you kind of view things, from your own perspective. That's good that you had that mental resolve to kind of stick through it. So that's pretty cool. And I heard you mention, Ryan being more than just a coach. Tell me a little bit how, when you're not in your best space mentally, like how does Ryan assist you, to kind of keep going?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people look at Ryan like, damn, this guy's tough. He's intimidating. And that was me too. When I first joined, I mean, he's all tatted up, like big guy. It's
uh,
like, damn, I don't want to mess with him, you know? But honestly, once you talk to him, you get to know him, you show him that you're a hard worker. It's like he he's really really nice, and he'll put your health above anything else and your well being. It's like
mhm,
it's just not about bodybuilding. When you're at the gym with him, it's like, my family. He knows my fiance. They get along really well, and he always had my best interests. Like, and I trust him with everything. It's like when I don't feel good in a certain way, he's like, let's take a look at it, and see what's going on. It's just not. I hear stories with other coaches. I've never been coached by anyone else, so I don't know. But I hear stories where they just worry about their brand. They're like, I gotta put
mhm.
this athlete. You gotta look good, so because you represent me. And for him, I just never feel like being pressured in that way. If I feel something wrong in a certain way, he'll pause, either with bodybuilding or just personal life. Man, I come to him with personal problems as well. So
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of people do too. He's just not just a coach, man. I feel like that's what a lot of people, but yeah, man, I come with him with every problem, with personal, business, anything, even like Instagram. He was on my ass about it for so long when I first started out because I suck at Instagram social media. And he's like, bro, you got to
Man,
put yourself out there more. It's just, you got to market yourself. You're in the league now, especially when I turn pro. It's like, I want you to start posting stories every day, or something like that. Just the little stuff. Like, he wants me to improve in all areas. So
that's good, man.
I'm just
Shout out
grateful to
shout out
have
to
someone like that.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Shout out to Ryan, man. I've met him a few times. I know me and you were at the posing seminar for Center
yeah,
Podium, and then I had him kind of look at me a little bit and just pretty much down to earth dude, man. So
yeah.
um yeah, shout out to Ryan. So you mentioned he's pretty much helping you a lot, but in a sense, like how social media is, like you're naturally shy as a person. So,
Yeah,
which
man.
it's funny because like I may not come across like that at times, but there's certain things I'm like, even when I first got into bodybuilding, it was just like, I don't know about this. You want me taking my shirt off on stage? Like this look crazy. But I had made a promise to my mom, so on and so forth. So with the way that bodybuilding is, now it is like it's social media driven to kind of bring the fans in and people who are the top athletes, including yourself, because Ryan's right. Like you are one of the elites in the sports. Like you got wins, bro. So and
Still
you have
crazy to me, bro.
yeah, you have wins. So how have you been able to manage, that sense of like shyness that you either had or you still, kind of deal with now? Like how are you managing all that knowing you got to display your body on stage and be more active on social media and really just be in large areas where you just got to talk to people?
Yeah, man. I feel like I still have a lot improvement to make in that regards,
Mhm.
but it's definitely getting more comfortable as I do it. But I feel like
Okay.
I do it in a way where I want to be myself still. I'm not comfortable when I have to turn the camera on and be like, "Hey, this and that," But I still do it because
Yeah.
I feel like uh, a lot of the people that follows me, like, they're close to me, so I feel like I'm talking to
Hmm.
like my close friends or something. So I tell myself that at least, just to make
Hey,
myself comfortable.
you got to do what you
And
got to do.
yeah, and even being on here with you, man. You remember you messaged me? I was like, bro, I don't know if I can do this. I suck at talking. But I was like, as I'm trying to improve in other aspects as well. I mean, we're always in the gym, but we need to work on other areas as well, just not just inside the gym. And it's one of those things I want to improve as well. And I feel like just doing more of it will make me better. And I feel like I still don't feel any much of a difference from before, but I get a lot of people telling me like, "Oh man, you're an inspiration, or you need to show more of what you do to inspire people." And that's like, it doesn't really hit me because I'm like, man, I'm just in the gym, put my head down and work, man, and that's all I've been doing ever since I got into this sport, man. And now I feel like, I feel like sometimes I use this analogy in my head. It's like I've been putting my head down just on that stationary bike, and now I look up and it's like, man, I'm like a pro. I'm competing. I'm
And
Olympian.
everybody's watching you.
Yeah, it's
Man,
crazy to me, man. I don't feel much of like a different from before to now. But yeah, I was like, okay, maybe people are watching me, and I want to basically put out positive thing, inspire like what I
absolutely.
do. Like, yeah, I just do the basic. I feel like I always just do the basic stuff, nothing
Mhm.
fancy. Just stick to the old school, just work out, work hard, give it everything you have, and then, look up and then you see the result kind of thing, just it's not a crazy formula to me, I guess. And I want
It
to pass
works
that
for
out
you
there.
though. It works for
Yeah,
you for sure. So I could tell
yeah.
you personally, you're definitely an inspiration for me. So seeing you live at the seminar, like Instagram doesn't do you no justice, bro. Because even on Instagram, I'm like, yo, this dude is bubbly. He gets back is crazy. He gets pilled. And then I seen you at the center podium, and then like your poll, I'm like, yo, Instagram live, like he's way bigger in person. Like, and I was like, yo, this is dope. And like just to kind of see you, in that element, which again, now that I know, you kind of being in like large crowds in a sense that's not really your thing, it was still dope to kind of see you break out of your shell. Like when I go back and think about it, to be like, you're there to really just help the amateurs come up, and me being a pro, like you helped me too. You see what I'm saying? Because we had a nice dialogue as far as like, me taking off the year and, doing what's best for my family. So like definitely you are an inspiration to a lot of people out here, man. So don't settle yourself short, including the pros. Trust me. Don't settle yourself
I
short, brother.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I'm still having
definitely.
like trouble taking it in, and I feel like it, but like hearing stuff like what you said right now, and then just a lot of people, it's like, if I can inspire one person, what I mean, I think at the end of the day that would be really awesome. I don't think about that aspect too much, but that's why I'm starting like, hey, I got to do these things, you know, break out of my shell. I can just have one person at the end of the day inspire somebody somewhere, you know. Let's why not, you know? Just it's not much out of like time out of my day or anything like that. So it's pretty awesome to
Nah.
hear stuff like that, man. I appreciate it, dude.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime I have a chance to get somebody their flowers, I'm gonna do it, man. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you. But I noticed when you first got into Team Zero Gravity, you ran into Jeremy Poppin. And just recently, you was just battling it out with him in Texas for 1 and 2. So
bro.
talk about that dynamic of like when you first seen him to now, like where was your mindset then versus being on stage with him now? Because I'm pretty sure you two are close now. I think you're on the same team at this point. So, like, how was that sharing the stage with your brother and knowing that you've come so far from seeing him in that parking lot?
It's wild, bro. I was like, man, I was sitting there at the airport coming back from Texas, and everything just came together. Like what you said, I don't really sit down and think about it, but
Mm-hmm.
everything started coming back in my head. I was like, bro, before even Team Zero Gravity, I was watching him when he got third at the Olympia. I was a fan in the stand, man, watching him
Mm-hmm.
at the Olympia, and then being the same teammate when I first joined. I was like, bro, this is wild. And then
Crazy, bro.
I was competing with him in I think 2020 or 2019 as well. I
Mm.
forget the year, but I got third to him and AJ. And now to come back and be on the same stage again and just to stand next to him, man, he has a freaky physique, dude. It's like you can't help but look at and admire, you know. And
It's
then
almost
we share the
unfair
same.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, bro, come on.
Mm.
But we even shared the Airbnb Texas too
Oh, that's dope.
before
That's
the show.
dope.
So man, seeing
Mm.
him pose, seeing him get improved every hour or every couple of hours after each meal. So we share a good bond, but in a way, I'm like still a little fanboy. You know, I'm like watching him pose over there, like God damn. How can he look like that? You know, stuff like that. But he's
Yes.
also my brother, man. He's always been nice to me from day one. You know, he's one of those guys where he's not cocky. He's down to earth. He will take the time out to say
Mm.
what's up to you, no matter you're an amateur. Doesn't care about your status or anything like that. So yeah, man. Not a lot of people are like that. You know, as I found out, but he's one of those, man. So I'm so grateful to have him as a brother, as a friend. So we are pretty close, but just being on stage with him in Texas and the pictures and everything, man, the feeling, and I told him I'll have to frame that picture forever.
Hey, man, that's dope, man, because like you two were pretty much lights out. I'm pretty sure it was like a 1-2 point split. I'm pretty sure it was something along those lines. But
Yeah.
like it's what's the saying goes when your idols become your rivals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what that reminds me of just based off hearing your story. And it's not like a rival where you're trying to kill each other or it's hatred. It's really like that's really your brother on stage. So talk to me a little bit how because you shared the Airbnb with him, so you're literally watching someone change in front of your eyes, someone you have to battle with. Like, how do you balance the fact of, yo, I gotta compete against this dude versus this is my brother? Like, how do you balance that?
I think at that time I didn't well as a competitor, like man, I have to beat this guy, you know. But
Okay.
the other side of me is like he's my brother. Like if he beats me, if there's someone in that show that wants, I mean, I want to see win, it would probably be him,
Okay.
him or my other teammate Andrew. He's all share the Airbnb. It's like,
Hey. Mhm.
yeah, man. But it's just like it doesn't matter what at the end of the day, man. It's like, yeah, I know I was coming my best. It's not like, oh, I was like, oh, that's Jeremy Poppin. I'm not doing my best anymore, or I gave up, or something like that. You know,
Mhm.
I knew if anything, it motivated me. Like, this guy looks crazy. How do I get even crazier? I mean, what do I need to do? That's why I was like, at that show, there were some days, man. I was like, I don't know if I can get on this bike for another 30 minutes. But I was like, Jimmy Poppins is there, Andrew is there, and then the other 30 something guys are there, But it's like, is Jeremy fucking Podvin? I gotta get on this shit. Maybe not 30, maybe I need to do 40. But I know, like, if I see him, like, in my head, I was like, if he beats me, it's like I'll be so happy as well. 'Cause that's my brother. He's getting in the O. He's coming back this year, and
Yes,
he's gonna compete.
sir.
And yeah, man, it's like, who, what better person to beat me in that show, than
Hmm.
my brother. So it's not, it wasn't that hard for me. So it was like exciting at the same time because you don't know what's gonna happen, but you're coming at your best, and he's looking at you as well because when he poses, then I go after him, and he's looking
Hmm.
at me, and I know he's on fire. He's like, he got to come and beat me too. So it's
There
like a
you go. Talk
fun.
that talk, Jason. Look.
It's like it's that fun back and forth thing, But I know, like, the genuine feeling of like wanting to see each other win as well. So that's like really reassuring. There's no pressure, there's no bad feelings or anything like that. And we share that moment at the end as well. It's like I felt it the whole way. I told him, like, hey man, if you win, I'll be so fucking happy for you. I'll probably cry for you. And he told me straight up, man, I might cry for you, if you win and stuff like that. I mean, this bodybuilding, we're like, oh, tough guy, but we're like, we have emotions too. And
Exactly.
yeah, and it's awesome to share that, man. And then he was like, after stage, man, he was one of the first who came and congratulated me, and I was like, well, I appreciate you so much, man. Just having you on this journey and sharing, this win. I know he was hurting too as a competitor, man. If I lose second, I mean, I'll be happy, but there's also a part of me that's like, fuck, I just lost the show.
You're right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but it
that's
was a
understandable
bittersweet
though.
moment. Yeah,
And that's dope, man, to see that brotherhood over trumps a trophy. Over
yeah.
trumps. I mean, we're all striving for oh, he's made the Olympia multitude of times. You've made it multitude of times. So it's nothing new, but I mean it again, like that's your goal. And realistically, no one can stand in your way, but also nothing can stand in the way of like the brotherhood that you two built. So like I commend you on that, man. That's a beautiful thing, man, for real. So moving into another space, um self-care, that's a very big thing in the sport. And you mentioned earlier in the interview how you took some time off, diet break, stuff like that. Like tell me how important self-care is for you, and what are some of the things that you do to prioritize that.
I mean, I feel it's important being in this sport. I mean, we're prepping for like 6, 7 months or even more in a year.
Hmm.
And your mindset can be fixed on that one goal. Like, I'm doing everything I can for this show. I need to win this show. I don't give a crap about anything else. And I feel like if you keep pushing on that, you can get a little burnt out. I mean,
Yes.
nobody likes to suffer for like every day. You know what I mean? Even if you enjoy, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm having fun now. I do that too, and I see a lot of guys put like have fun. I mean, it is fun. It's a fun process, but I want to keep it fun. I feel like if there are no like gloomy days, you won't kind of like appreciate the sunny days. So I was like,
Absolutely.
when I get a chance, I want to just ease my mind, be a normal person, especially with the whole family thing. Like, family's big for me, and like I don't want to forget them. I'm sure, like, my parents, my fiance, they want to have a normal son, a normal fiance that they can enjoy every day as well. And I love that too, man. I love some family time too. And it,
Hmm.
it put me at ease when I get back on prep. Like, oh, I took the time out when I had the time, and then I spent time with them, had a good time. And then, especially with the fiance, man, if you don't take care of them, you don't prep.
Look,
You
the
regret it.
struggle is real on this end, man. I'm still trying to figure out that balance, but yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, for me, from what I learned, I'll share my experience. It's like, know what she likes. You like dinner? Okay, when I'm off prep, let's go dinner. Like, at least once a week. Mine, she loves to travel. So when I'm off, I'm thinking, hey, let's go on a trip. Like, before prep or a big prep, a long prep that I know I'm gonna be on, I'll be like, yeah, babe, let's go here. You wanted to go here, right? And I'll go with it the weekend or a couple of days. Put her at ease, make her happy. And then it's like,
Mhm.
okay, after this one, I'm gonna be on prep. And it's that balance, like, you know, you put your mind at ease, but you also put the people around you as well. Like, don't forget them. It's like, if you have time, spend it with them, enjoy your time, make them enjoy the time that they have with you as well. You know, it's like, you're selfish. You're gonna take all yourself back when you're on prep. So give them a little bit of yourself, like, you know, and take a little bit of them in as well. You know, that's how I keep my balance, and it's been working. So, and thank goodness I have a family that supports me, and my fiance that really support me for this crazy wild passion of mine.
Hey man, that support is real, man. I would like to say I started 2019. So my first, I would say 2 years, that balance was non-existent. Like it was just not, especially when I found out you can turn pro in the sport. Oh, it was like, oh, I'm gunning. Like I don't care. Like this has to happen. So
Yeah.
I literally was putting everything and everyone on the back burner, you know,
Hmm.
chasing this goal. And, me and my wife had talks about it. And like that's part of the reason why this whole year I'm taking off because like
Yeah.
I owe, my wife, my daughter, and the rest of my family that time. But that initial like 2 years, like going into my third year, I only ended up doing 2 shows and they were back to back. So I gave them
Yeah.
majority of the time in my off season anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, those first 2 years was trash, bro. I was almost like losing myself in a sense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, when you have these goals, like you gotta have the support system behind you, and you gotta reciprocate and return
Exactly.
that same support. So, like, I understand exactly what you mean, which is why I'm going to Hawaii in about 3 months. So,
Oh yeah, bro. I'm happy for you.
yeah,
Enjoy,
thank
man.
you, man. Yeah, I gotta go, man. Watching these shows is giving me that itch. I'm like, ugh, especially Jonas and Alex up there battling yesterday. I'm like, oh,
I
I'm
feel you,
ready to
man. That was
go.
me the first part of the year, bro. It's like watching all these guys make you have that itch. You're like, oh man, I want to be up there.
Man, it was crazy. As soon as I watched who I went on your coaches live in the morning, I was like, yo, Sandy up there working them boys. And then like I
Yeah.
went on Jonas live at later that day after I shot one of the episodes. And then I was like, man, I'm going to the gym. I hit back so hard yesterday. Like it was, but that's the drive, like that inspiration you get. And sometimes when you gotta give back to your family, you cannot scratch that itch. You cannot.
Yeah.
And I was so ready to scratch it yesterday. I was like, nope, go to the gym, do your workout, and take your butt home.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't be looking at the IFBB Pro calendar. Don't be looking at, oh, it's only 10 weeks. I can squeeze in a don't do none of that. Give this time back to your these are like real conversations I'm having with myself. Like it is crazy, bro. So yeah,
No,
I try to
I feel you, bro.
yeah, I try to give back to my family as much as I can now that I'm learning. So to hear you say that, it's like I know I'm doing the right thing now. So
Yeah, and that's another thing with it too. Like I do the same way, bro. Just last week I was looking at the calendar. I was like, where can I hit after the O or before the O? Or
yo,
like the September show, is my body ready? It's like when you
mm,
watch people, man, you're like, because we're competitors, man. Well, that's why we're in this sport, because we love this thing, you know, and we want to get up there and compete with all these guys. But sometimes like you got to remember there's a bigger goal and there's a bigger thing than bodybuilding. And I think like, well, that's one of those things when me personally, when I first came in, I was the same way as you, man. I need to get that pro card. After that first show, I fell in love with this sport. I was like, national, let's go. Where do I need to get my pro card? Let's go. And I feel like a lot of new guys come in, they're more hungry than us now, dude. And they're working, and then the thing is like you can easily like lose yourself in it, and you lose the the sense of you have family too. You have people around you.
absolutely.
Uh, and then it go back to one of the things I learned from Ryan as well. He always tells me a thing I keep in my head, like out of the many things he tells us, it's like you can prep as hard as you can. Like you're going out with your family. What does that have to do with your prep? Like what does that have to
Mm.
stop you from doing your prep being 100%? That's why I do my rice ball thing. You know, like I don't know if you noticed the rice ball thing
We
that
gonna
people
get
were
into
talking
that,
to me about.
man. You're
Yeah.
you're you're goaded for that, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why I learned from him. It's like, oh shit, he's right. Like, okay, I can do my cardio because that's he shared from his personal life. You have a plan with your wife at 7, get up at 5, do your cardio or do your
Mhm.
workout, and then go out with your wife. Like, what excuse do you have just because you're on prep? You can't go out at 7. Like, why not? Or like you need to be on prep. Bring your chicken with you. Bring your rice with you. So that's what I learned. That's what I did. Like, okay, you want to go dinner? I'm willing to go with you. I just got to bring out my rice ball and my chicken bag. But I'll be there with you. We can have a canteen conversation. Maybe not on peak week though. Peak week, I might not do it. But other than that, man, I try
Yeah.
to make it as normal as possible. You see me as like dying, but I'm still at Disney, like in the crowd or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to give you the best of my time. Sometimes I might look like I'm suffering and I hate it there.
Yeah.
But I'm doing my best basically. You can do your best at the gym, but you can also do your best with your family and the people that are important to you as well. Like you can be in Hawaii. I mean, I went to Hawaii before, uh, and then I was on prep, man. I brought my chicken. I went to
Word.
Costco, and then rice balls. I brought everything, man. I was still on prep. I was like, let's go. You know, there's a 24 there. There's a gym there. Like, what's your excuse? So you can definitely make it work. It's just you got to put a little more effort, and it sucks sometimes. You might lose a little more sleep, but hey, you can definitely do it. Like we talk about being like, yeah, whatever it takes. Then do whatever it takes.
Man, look at Jason in here dropping gems. Did y'all hear that? That man was on prep in Hawaii. He just had me rethink
Bro,
my
there's so
whole
many
life
trips.
right now. Like,
If I can show you my phone, so on my phone, I have a list of every city that I've been to. And then some
uh-huh.
of them, because I went there with my fiance and I was on prep. So I saved all the restaurant when I come back when I'm on prep. So I can
Man,
enjoy it.
me and you gonna have to have a talk, brother, for real. Because so hold on.
Yeah.
Before that, you tell from dang, who did I hear? Johnny Swole, who a close friend of mine, right? He told me
Yeah.
about your rice trick, but then I also seen like a meme or something you did. I think it was with your fiance with like the rice trick as well. It was hilarious, by the way. So if you can explain like the rice ball trick that you use, because I low key believe is going around the league right now. Like, yo, you hear about Jason's rice trick? Like, we got to use it. I promise you. Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
Dude, it started out with because I have a full time job. I have a 9 to 5 job, and then I
Uh-huh.
bodybuild, and then we live in California, so traffic sucks. So
Yep.
the backstory of that is when I first started out, I needed to put on a lot of size. So Ryan had me on like 600 gram of carbs every day, and
Sheesh.
I was like 600 gram. Like I don't even have that much time to eat in a day. I have like 2 breaks and a lunch at work.
Mhm.
And then I have like a 40-minute in the morning drive and an hour and a half drive home at the end, and then another drive from the gym back to my house, another hour. So I was like, how can I maximize this and get 600 gram in? So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just put a cup of rice in a saran wrap? And then when I'm driving, because I usually drive with one hand. Like we just drive one hand. The other
Mhm.
hand is useless. Like I'm not doing anything. It's like, why as well I just put it right there in the dash and I just grab it and eat as I drive. So I'll be 100 grams by the time I get to work in the morning, and then eat at work, whatever, and the home drive home from work to the gym is another hour or something. That's another 100 grams down. And then from the gym back home, I can squeeze at least another 50. And it's just the convenience of it. And then on break, I'll be taking a walk around work, and guess what? I have my rice ball on there. And then when I first started, man,
Man,
I thought
dope, bro.
I thought I looked so weird because at work people are like, "You eating onions?" I was like, no, I'm not eating onion. It's a
Yo,
rice
it does
ball.
look like that though. Now that you just said that, that's funny. It really does, though.
Yeah, I had to explain it to them. But when you explain to like people that don't compete, and they're like, "Wait, even you say it's a rice ball, it doesn't sound to me better than an onion." It's like, why is he walking
Man,
around eating a rice ball? You know, and that's how
like,
it got started. And then the video or the reel I made is just like, you know what, this is kind of dumb, but let's just put it out there. Just try to be funny. I try to put some funny stuff on my IG sometimes,
mhm.
and it surprisingly picked up. I was like, oh shoot. And then now I see, yeah, people tag me on it and stuff. I was like, wow.
Man, look, I haven't done it yet, best believe come 2024 or even this trip to Hawaii now that we talking, it's gonna happen because and it's funny like how I be packaging my food like when I have to travel for
Yeah,
shows. I got all these
yeah.
containers and I will no longer be doing that. Like, no. And it's see, and this is the dope thing about having you on, bro, just providing that insight and that intellect as far as like you just did it out of convenience, all because your coach told you to eat 600 grams of carbs. And now look, like you got a lot of people following something you just did literally out of convenience. Something that you thought probably looked crazy is actually a time saver, and it probably helps. It's gonna help me. I look, I'm about to use it. So,
Tag me in it, bro.
man, definitely for sure, man. That's dope, man. Like you got me like really anticipating this trip now and anticipating next year for sure. Um,
Yeah, bro, hit me up, man. I mean, I still have save the stuff in Hawaii where you can get. I don't know which island you're going to, but restaurant where you can get meal prep and all that stuff. Hey, Costco, bro. Honestly,
oh
they have
yeah,
everything you need there. Yeah.
we're going to Waikiki. So me, my wife, my
Oh, you're
daughter.
good.
Yeah, that's pretty much more of the city vibe. So they're gonna have everything, but I'll definitely be messaging you for sure because that's gonna be
Yeah,
very because
TSA
you
might
know
give you a
me.
problem with those rice balls, though, man.
I mean, as long as they let them through, I ain't tripping. Just do what I gotta do. I ain't look, just let them through. I needs my food because and it's crazy because as bodybuilders, like we go on vacation. I know me personally, it's just like what, I don't want to worry about diet. I don't want to worry about. I just want to eat. I'm looking up food places, but I also have to remember, like, man, I'm a professional too. Like, this is something that you need to practice what you preach. You need to commit to your daily habits and also remember, like, hey, one day I will be standing next to a Jason, or I will be standing next to a Jeremy, or I will be standing next to whoever, and I need to work just as hard as them if I'm even going to be comparable. So I can't use Hawaii as an excuse to just go crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
which confession I would normally do on any vacation, whatever. I'm so it just is what it is. And honestly, that's just me being a rookie in my, professional aspect, like not knowing that no, like you're a professional athlete now. And sometimes I can mentally play on you like, dang, man, this is like I need a break, like for real. But you got to have that mental resolve, and this is what you voluntarily signed up for. So you got to do what you got to do, and like you said, do what it takes, man. And
Hit it on
so,
the head right there, man. It's like you have a goal in your head, but let's also go back to that balancing too, man. So when I was going through it, I'm the same way as you, bro. I started looking at a restaurant. I go to places like I want to go ham. I want to try everything. And the thing is, going
hmm
back to like, I'm sure your wife wants to enjoy time with you, right? So I would say like keep a balance. Like keep your macros, like get your protein, your carbs in, and then maybe just one cheat meal with her because you're still on vacation. You still get your your nutrients in, but you also have a good
absolutely,
time with your wife because you have some time off. Yeah. So that's what I would do, and then that's what I've been doing as well, man. We can definitely make everything work, man. Just gotta plan
man.
ahead.
My guy, yeah, planning for sure. So I hit you with three quick hitters before we get out of here. Words of wisdom or advice you would give to those trying to start their bodybuilding career, or just some of the amateurs out there who idolize Jason and look up to Jason. What's like some advice you can give them on what to look out for?
There's so many advices I feel I can give, but I think it's just enjoy your time in this sport or starting on this sport. It's your story. Take your time to write it. It's like don't look for a quick way to do it. I mean, it took me a while to get to where I'm at right now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Some people they get out of the gate, they start winning right away, and it's
Hmm.
just me having to put out the work, put in, get it better every year, have that feeling of being destroyed, showing up to national, be like, I'm the smallest guy here, you know,
Yeah.
and then just like working your butts off, and then just uh, get better every year. it humbles me and it keeps me grounded. I feel like I took my time and it paid off. You know, I mean, there's no shortcut. There's no easy way. I feel like that's not really realistic. Even if it works for some people, I mean, the majority of people, I feel like it won't work with. So take your
Mm-hmm.
time. You know, start building from the ground up. Work with what you have. You know, I
Uh,
don't. That's a thing too. It's like, you know, don't look at what other people have. Like this guy have the best genetics. You know, this back, this front, his chest. Like no, you have what you have, and I'm in this sport to maximize and do whatever it takes to look the best with what I have. You know, this is my chest, this is my back, this is my structure. Like, you know, it's not the best or whatever, but I'm sure as hell gonna bring the best version of it when I go against anybody. You know, so that I guess
Absolutely.
that's some of my advice.
Nah, that's dope, man. That's good. They need to hear that. I mean, some of the pros need to hear that too. And including
Yeah.
myself, like being patient. Like I just literally was just telling you yesterday, I was ready to scratch the itch, but I have to be
Mhm.
patient in my process. And your
Yes.
process is yours, no comparing, just take the journey and enjoy it. So I commend you on that. Second one, if besides the shows you've won and the Olympia, if there is a specific show that you could go to and win, like this is the bucket list, like I'm picking this show, this is the one I've been looking at, this is the one I want to win. What show is that?
So I have a couple. So definitely the Arnold, New York.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, New York. I want to do those show. Pittsburgh. We came close, but not
Hey,
close enough. uh, Chicago as well, and then a hometown show. Like I've been wanting to do an Anaheim or San Diego show for a while now.
okay.
Just the timing just never matches up because I want to do it in
Hmm.
front of my family. They can come and cheer for
Man,
me. I feel like those
yes,
one of those things you can never, you know, like take back in the future. So yeah,
absolutely,
those are the
man. Oh, did it freeze at the end?
two.
All right, now we good. I thought it froze at the end. Sorry, people. We good. We good. We good. Nah, I have a dope vision for a local show, bro. I'm hoping it happens next year because a lot of us out here, we're
Mhm.
muscle contest bred, like where we all bring like 20 to 30 people from our families, bro, and like we
Yeah,
all land in like that top call out. Of course, I still got a lot more work to do, which I'm working on, but it turns into like this almost like battle of the whatever vibes like in the Coliseum because there's so many people in the audience cheering for you, cheering for whoever's homegrown because we brought
yeah,
so many people out. Like there's like this crazy vision, but hopefully it comes true one day. So
yeah. It's a different energy, man. When you're in a
yeah.
hometown crowd, yeah,
Hmm.
it's a different motivation, different energy, man. That's why I was like, I need to do a hometown show.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I'm hoping I know muscle contest is usually they have one in April. So I'm hoping to jump on that and hopefully, you and anyone that's close to home, y'all bring out y'all 20, 30 people. And then believe it or not, bro, if like 5 people did that, you will get close to like 300 people in that crowd, bro.
Yeah, well, I'll be
Yeah,
there. You just let
yeah,
me know.
for sure. I got you. And then last quick hitter, I need you to give me two people you can see on this podcast to kind of enhance the dialogue that we're having as far as telling their story and some of the mental health resolve or struggles that they go through as a bodybuilder. It can be we can go male and female, or if you can't think of a female, give me two males.
Okay. First one to come in mind would be one of my enemies from Cuts, and he also battled with me, and he beat me in Denver and battled me in Vancouver. Most
Hey,
shredded, eh? Most
most
shredded.
shredded.
Drew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm coming for that title, by the way.
Hey, Drew, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Yeah, no, he got a story I've been wanting to hear as well. And
Hey,
then
man.
Mark, I think one of the new pros. I think he's with Jonas right now. Feel like he got a quite a story too. I started to get to know him. He's a new pro, so he's really hungry. He's pushing me in the gym right now. That's another good one. I would love to hear his story and how he got to be a pro right now as well. And definitely get, I know you said two, but I got to throw Jeremy and Ryan in there as well. Ryan's a
Hey
lot of
man,
knowledge for people. And
that's
Jeremy,
dope,
he,
man.
he's the OG. Yeah, he definitely have more stories to tell for sure.
Got you. So when y'all watch this, y'all heard what Jason said. The trick is, Jason, you got to help me get them on. So we gonna reach out to them after this or a little bit later, and try to get y'all four gentlemen on. But man, appreciate you so much, Jason, for you know enlightening us on your story. Bringing the laughter and just letting us in a little bit as far as how you think and on your way to the O, man.
No, I appreciate you having on me on here and just making it easy for me, man. This is definitely not easy. This is my first ever podcast, man, and you made it enjoyable. I'm
Look,
basically just,
man,
man, just telling you my stories.
I told you, man, you had nothing to worry about. I'll give y'all a little side story before we go. So leading up to this, like I'm texting Jason, and Jason was like, "Man, like, what are the questions?" Or like, what are we gonna be talking about? And I'm like, all right, here goes like five like random questions, which I asked maybe two of them, maybe. Because again, like this is why I was telling you, like, you have nothing to worry about. And I'm telling them, like, look, this is gonna be an easy conversation, bro. I promise you. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm not gonna ask you anything flagrant. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent. Like, I'm not gonna do anything. He's worried about him not talking enough, and he talked a lot here, but it was great information, which typically would happen. So, like, if anyone doesn't know, like, my background is in, clinical psychology. So having this conversation is very easy for me, and but just having normal conversations period with people who are genuine like yourself, who care about the sport, like that's even more easier because believe it or not, like you motivate me, like I idolize you in a sense because you've been in it like way longer than me and you're at where I'm striving to be. So to have a conversation with you is that's easy. I can do that in my sleep, honestly. So that's how the energy between us is good because I'm not going to jeopardize your brand or jeopardize you as a person or anything you stand for. This is just going to be you on here telling, how you came up, what you think about the rice ball story, which is goaded. It's goaded out here. So yeah, man. So that's all that you had nothing to worry about, man. And you did good, man. You did good.
I appreciate you, bro. I can't wait to see the final products. I probably hate hearing my voice, but
All
I can't
right.
wait.
You all right, man. Well, we gonna head out. Episode 4 is a wrap. See y'all on the next one.
See ya.
Peace.